Good morning, it's Dr. Garrett, and today I want to talk to you about some of the tests that we do for functional medicine and give you a walkthrough of what I'm looking for. Now, with functional medicine, we're looking at 3 body systems. We're looking at your neuroendocrine, we're looking at your GI, and we're looking at your detox pathways. All of these are interconnected into each other and gives me an overview of what's going on with you, from your nutritional status to your hormones and how your hormones are working. Now, I like to use these labs in conjunction with blood work, where I'm looking at your DHEA, I am looking at your cortisol, your progesterone, your estrogen, I am looking at your testosterone, your follicle stimulating hormone, your sex hormone binding globulin. I'm looking at your CBC, your CMP, your vitamin levels. I'm also looking at sometimes cancer markers. And I have some on this patient that I was looking at, and I'm going to try to pull them up for you here in just a few minutes. But first I want to talk about one of the tests that I like to order, which is an organic acids test. Essentially, this is a first morning urine. I have you pee in a cup, you freeze it, you send it off to the lab. Now, when this comes back, this is a metabolomics test. Let me show you what it's going to give us some indications for. So I do have permission to share this from the patient, but I did tell the patient that I was going to block out their personal information. So you'll see that here, but take a look. This patient is a 57-year-old woman. She is suffering from the big 5, fatigue, weight gain. She's dealing with some hormone imbalances. She's dealing with some brain fog, and she just does not feel right. We've done a GI panel on her, and we'll go through that in our next lecture. But this is the organic acids test that I'm looking at. Now, coming through here, we can see she has need for support with antioxidants, and it gives me like an overview of what's going on with the patient. She needs help with mitochondrial support. Remember, mitochondria are those little kidney bean cells or organelles within a cell that helps regulate energy. This is what's going to help create energy from the macros you're putting in your body, your protein, your fats, and your carbohydrates. It gives me information about toxic exposure and whether I have to be worried about supporting toxic exposure. And it also shows me the need for methylation support. Remember, methylation is taking one product from a raw, unusable form and converting it over to something that is usable within the body. So this is the overview. This is just kind of giving me a broad idea of what's going on. Now, as we come in through here, this gives me an idea of what nutrients this lady needs. So taking a look here, if it's in the green or towards this first quintile, then I know that the nutrient support is great. As it gets further out, I can see that there's a need for more nutrients within the body. So you can see we have a need for vitamin A, we have a need for vitamin E, alpha lipoic acid, CoQ10. She is on a statin drug, so that's why her CoQ10 is low. Glutathione. We also need some plant-based antioxidants. It gives me the B vitamins. And in a few moments, we're going to go through the citric acid cycle, and you're going to see how important B vitamins are in the body. But we need some support with these B vitamins. Even the B9 is a little bit on that higher end of normal, so it's not optimized. We want our things to line up over here in this very first quintile. Minerals. Magnesium is needed for every cellular function in the body, and there is a great need for magnesium. Manganese, a high need for manganese. Zinc looks good and vitamin C looks good, probably because she's doing an immunity support right now. It also lets me know about the GI imbalance and whether or not there's dysbiosis in the GI. So this could be a pathogen, this could be a parasite, this could be a yeast overgrowth. And so this gives me an overview of that. It also has recommendations here of how much this patient needs to take each day. Now, it also gives me the amino acids, and amino acids look really good on this patient. Now, on the next couple pages, we're on page 3 here, it talks about what vitamins this patient needs. It tells us what vitamin A is for, where she scored, what food sources we can get vitamin A from, what deficiencies might cause. So with vitamin A, night blindness, impaired immunity, healing and tissue regeneration, increased risk of infection, impaired immunity and healing. There's all kinds of things that can go on with this. And so this kind of gives us a rundown of everything going on within the body here and why we need those supportive mechanisms and where we can find those within the body. So the B vitamins, again, B vitamins are very important. And the two most important ones are honestly B1 and B2. And you can see there is a high need for B1 and B2 here. Now, as we come through, we're going to see our minerals, a high need for magnesium, a high need for manganese. And then in terms of our digestive support, we need some probiotics, we need some digestive enzymes. We have some mitochondrial dysfunction, and this is because of a lack of antioxidants in the body. Toxic exposure looks great, which is really important because this patient here was afraid that she had some arsenic or mercury exposure, but we've already ruled that out on a blood test. So taking a look here, this is kind of how our bodies create energy from what we are eating. And this shows you what minerals and vitamins you need in order to create this cycle and to keep this cycle running the way that it's supposed to. So taking a look at our fats, so we need magnesium and B2 to start with this beta oxidation process, which switches over to acetyl-CoA, which turns into ketogenesis, which swings us down into the citric acid cycle. As long as this beautiful circle here is running the way that it's supposed to, you're going to be creating energy. However, if we have issues with it, let's see, like with the carbohydrates, not enough magnesium, so now we're getting pyruvic acid, which is switching over into lactic acid. We don't have enough B vitamins to come in here and flip us over to the acetyl-CoA. Then we're going to go into something else. This other cycle ends up causing more damage and stealing energy from your body. You can see with the proteins, the amino acids look good. As we start coming through this cycle, you see the different key factors of these organic acids that switch over and create the energy. You can see things that could be causing issues with it, whether that's mercury or arsenic, but we're not having problems with mercury or arsenic because you can see citric acid is good. You can see as we come down, we start getting a little bit of problems down here. And this is because we need that magnesium. So you can see we're lacking magnesium and manganese. Same thing up here, magnesium and manganese, magnesium. Magnesium is so important. As we come through, we can see we're having some issues over here. Again, magnesium and B vitamins. And then we're going to switch back up. And again, this is what's creating our energy. You can see that part of this is breaking down into lipid peroxidases, which can cause an ammonia buildup within the body and cause issues, more likely to develop cancer and DNA changes within the body. There's a high need for glutathione support over here, and we're having some problems down in this way. So now as we come down through here, don't mind all my scribbles. Again, I took this home and worked on it over the weekend because there are lots of things going on with this patient here. But you can see we have malabsorption and dysbiosis markers, vitamin markers, cellular energy and mitochondrial, neurotransmitter markers, toxins and detoxification markers. And you can see we should be able to line up more along the green with this. However, these levels are all over the place. We have some issues with dysbiosis, meaning there is some gut issues here. We're having poor detoxification. We need to be adding in some glycine for this patient. Most likely some invasive yeast going on from a high fruit or a high sugar intake. And so we need to fix this within the patient. So this is causing the gut not to be able to absorb the nutrients that we're putting into the body. So if you're not able to absorb what we're putting in, then we're going to be seeing these deficits over here with your B vitamins or with your minerals or your fatty acids. So we've got to make sure we fix the stomach issue to begin with. And we're going to put her on some supplements just to fix this and give her some ideas with food sources that'll also help. Now, cellular energy. Cellular energy equates to bodily energy so that we have more energy to get through our day. And so you can see we have some issues here. We need some more carnitine or B2. We've got some high pyruvic acid here. This is showing me this is a precursor to diabetes. We need to add in some alpha lipoic acid to balance that out. As we come through, we're looking at the energy metabolism. You can see that we are off. We need some more magnesium, manganese, B vitamins here. Our succinic acid is high. This could be toxic chemical exposure or a lack of B2 or CoQ10. When we're looking at the vitamin markers, we look pretty good until we get over here. We're low in that B12 and the biotin. And as we come down, we can see that we need to support our blood sugar regulation, and we need some neuro support with this patient because we're having some issues along here and here. These should line up more evenly. Now, kynurenate, or how this works in the body, is you need tryptophan. When your body takes in tryptophan, tryptophan switches that over to serotonin with the use of magnesium. However, if your patient is stressed out of their mind or in adrenal fatigue or something like that, instead of that tryptophan turning into serotonin and helping with melatonin as well so that you sleep better, it switches over to kynurenate. Kynurenate causes the body to go into a stress response in order to help you get through whatever it is that you're stressed about and help you to get through your day. So you can see when we're going through here and we're looking at these kynurenate markers, we do have some issues here. So we've got stress going on here. We do need to calm down the neuroendocrine because we're on the upper side of normal here. But our big problem comes with our stress markers, our catecholamine markers. And so you can see this person is stressed out of their mind. Their 5-OH indolinic acid is really high. So we're going to need some 5-HTP support to help support the serotonin within the body. We're going to need some magnesium just to kind of balance that out. Now, that's looking at here, again, GI, so we're looking at the stomach. We're looking at the adrenal glands. We're looking at the different vitamins needed. And then we're looking at the brain and the neurotransmitters. Finally, what I want to look at is the detoxification markers, because if we are letting these toxins up out of the body, then the body needs to be able to clear that. And we'll talk about the liver and detoxification in another lecture. But looking at here, you can see it's not too terribly bad on toxin and detoxification markers. Could it be improved? It could be improved a little bit, but it's not terrible. So meaning everything within this lady's body, if I give her the right supplements to support this, her body is going to be able to detoxify all of this dysbiosis or these GI issues. It'll help to get rid of the metabolites or the breakdown of the different products through the neurotransmitters. It's going to help with antioxidants and help support that mitochondrial energies. So this is a good thing that we want to see. Again, it could be used a little bit better. We're going to give her some glutathione just to kind of boost the body through there. Now coming on and looking at the back, we've got some issues with our oxalate markers back through here. And this could be something where they may build up and have kidney stones if they're out of balance, or they're going to have issues with oxalate dumping where they may get more itching and rashes. Their skin's going to look a little gross if we're having issues with our oxalates. Now with our oxidative damage, you can see that the lipid perioxidases were elevated. Again, this is going to tell me that this patient needs some CoQ10 for that mitochondrial support. Again, she's on a statin drug, which blocks the conversion of the CoQ10 within the body. CoQ10 is very important. It helps with your brain. It helps with all neuroendocrine pathways within the body. We do have some minor bumps up here with the 8-OHDG in the urine. So this just tells me the DNA needs to be repaired. And so we're going to just put her on some OJ and some green tea to help repair that. And then again, this gives me my methylation pathways just to make sure everything looks good. The B12 is being taken in, but this could be a result of different things within the body, but we have ruled out those toxic chemicals based off of the blood test that we did here in the office. Now, amino acids. Amino acids are the breakdown of protein. So whenever you ingest protein, whether that's walnuts, chickpeas, even a head of lettuce has like 8 grams of protein. Whenever you're breaking down these proteins, they break into amino acids. Amino acids are the building block of the body. They are what helps build the body up, help repair oxidative damage. It's what helps your cells to recover. It's what helps everything within the body. Now again, we need our B vitamins and magnesiums to help this pathway work. But if you look down through here, most of the amino acids are lined up pretty decently, with the exception of taurine is really on that higher side. But coming down through here, our essentials and non-essentials look really good. We're looking at the urine creatinine. This lets me know if there's any damages within the kidneys itself. And then again, back over to the B vitamin markers, which we already know are having some issues here. We can see if the body is able to get rid of urea. We can see how the metabolites of glycine are working. Again, she needs some glycine, she needs some magnesium to help with this. Then we have some dietary peptide related markers. This one here is indicative of Alzheimer's. And so we really worry with patients who are, on these lower ends of normals. We want to make sure that we are getting the good support with our B vitamins, with our magnesium, so that we can do these different pathways and these different chemical reactions within the body to help support the body. What I really want patients to be doing is eating a cup of berries today. There have been several research articles out of Harvard University that have talked about how if you eat a cup of berries a day, you can reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia by like 40%, which is huge. We need those oxidative markers, we need those antioxidants within the fruit that you are eating in order to help repair the cells and to help with that mitochondrial energy. Now, the other thing that we need, again, magnesium. Magnesium is vitally important to the body, and there are 1,000 different types of magnesium out there on the market. So, when we're looking at these organic acid tests, not only are we looking in depth functionally at how your body is working, the functions of the body, we're trying to get to the root cause, because all of the things that you're seeing on here is what is causing this woman to feel so miserable, to feel toxic, to feel out of balance, just to not feel like herself. Age is just a number. You should feel amazing up until your dying day when God says it's time for you to take your last breath. And that's what you can do if we can get your body in the right path and make sure you are on a healing journey. Now, this is one of those tests that we order. I like to order several different tests. So organic acids is my go-to, just for someone who is wanting to know just overall health, or who is feeling toxic, or just feels like they're not absorbing their vitamins the right way. From here, I'll do a GI test, and we'll look into the GI test here shortly in our next lecture. But the GI test can let me know if there's issues with dysbiosis going on within the body. I also like to look at an adrenal panel, because this is going to let me know how your hormones are working. And we'll talk about this more in depth, but more hormones in your body doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. So I want to caution you about adding additional hormones in unless there is a specific need for it. You don't need to be really high on these hormones either. You need to be at a normal, nice, balanced level. And that's the basis of what functional medicine is. So if you want to get in and you want us to do an organic acids test and go over the results and create a plan with you, give the office a call and we'll get you in on one of our functional medicine programs. Until then, I hope you have a lovely, healthy, and wonderful day.